it's Mr. Fred here again. I'm here to take you expanded noun phrase. How are you doing? I hope you're good and staying safe. So, expanded noun phrases it is. So, when you hear the word expanded, you know automatically we're talking about expanding, stretching, making something, in this case, more detailed. There is usual need for us to communicate more precisely and convey additional information when we speak or write. It makes our writing or speaking more interesting and more detailed. So when we use expanded noun phrases, that's exactly what we are doing. Before I get started, there are a few concepts I would like you to consider and remember, because we have covered them before. First of all, you need to know what nouns are. Also, you need to know what noun phrases are. And when we expand noun phrases, what do we add to expand it? We need to add adjectives and sometimes prepositional phrases. So we're going to look at each and every item I just mentioned. You already know what a noun is. It's a naming word. And we said they are words that are used to name places, people, animals, things, or ideas. Now, what is a noun phrase? A noun phrase consists of a noun and the words that describe it. So a noun phrase, like every other phrase, is a group of words. But in that noun phrase, the main word is a noun. And all the other words surrounding it describe it. A very simple example of a noun phrase is the girl. We have an article, the, and then we have girl. That's a very simple noun phrase. Now, in order to expand your noun phrase from the girl to something more detailed, you need to add at least an adjective. And we already said what an adjective is. An adjective is a word that describes a noun or a pronoun. So, once you add an adjective to a very simple noun phrase, you have expanded it a little, because you can have a simple expanded noun phrase and a more complex expanded noun phrase. So the first noun phrase I gave you was the girl or the man. How do we expand it from the girl or the man to something more complex? So we can have the beautiful girl or the handsome man. These are two very simple examples of an expanded noun phrase. An expanded noun phrase can have an adjective and even a prepositional phrase. I mentioned the prepositional phrase before. I said that the prepositional phrase can also be used to expand a noun phrase. Now, what is a prepositional phrase? Very easy if you ask me. A prepositional phrase is usually a phrase that begins with the preposition. Do you know what your prepositions are? We have in, we have on, over, by. All of these are prepositions. So if you have a phrase that begins with a preposition like by the house, over the bar, all these are prepositional phrases. If you ask me, they're very easy to identify. So let's see if you can add a prepositional phrase and an adjective to the man. That very simple noun phrase, the man. Let's see if you can do that. So what kind of adjective would you like to add to the man? Would you want to describe how fat he is, how tall he is, his complexion? Those are easy adjectives that can be used to describe him. So you could say, the tall man, right? That had expanded it a bit. But now, you can make it more complex and more interesting or more precise by adding some more specific information. So the tall man by the red car. So instead of just having the man, we had the tall man. And then the tall man buy the red car? So this is just a very simple way to add more detail, more useful information to your writing and provide more precise communication to make your writing more interesting. So I want to give you one last example before we call it a wrap. So I'll give you a sentence. Grandma waved goodbye. Grandma waved goodbye. What are you going to do with grandma? How do you expand grandma to become a complex, expanded noun phrase? As you know, grandma is a noun. So what are you going to add to it? Would you say grandma in a red dress, or grandma in a striped gown? You can see how easy it is to actually expand your noun phrases. So why don't you go around now and start forming your own noun phrases and expanding them with adjectives and prepositional phrase to provide more precise communication in your writing and in your speech. I hope you have fun as you go about doing that. Until we meet again, have a good one. Bye.